people being sensitive about getting engaged with political issues because of how tense that part of our world can be. Why do you think it's important to be engaged, and do you have any ideas on how to have a wider audience be engaged in the community and political pillar?
It's important to stay engaged within our community because within Kasamahan we have people who, among family, relatives, and even friends who experience different problems or issues that even though we may not experience personally, they experience and have their lives affected. So it's important to be able to empathize with them in their own personal struggles, whether it's indirect or direct, and like stay alongside them in their in how they navigate through these processes that are happening in the world. And personally, I think I can encourage this engagement further in Kasamahan is through hosting workshops that inform people about these current happenings in the world, regardless if it is in the Philippines or the Philippine American communities across the United States. I think it's very important that people are informed and are aware of these situations. And instead of just being within a workshop, for example, and just telling people, like, presenting slides and reading off the slides about what's happening, I can be more interactive and encourage conversation, facilitate discussions, and invite people to share their opinions about different topics and find a common ground on that.
Laura, Sam?
In your platform, you said that you want to maintain both existing and also relationships with organizations. How do you plan on doing that, and which events do you have in mind?
So Kasamahan does have, since Kasamahan already has existing affiliations with different alliances here, I want to further those ties with the alliances here that we have, and as well as make their mission statements known to see why we are connected with them, and share which each with MC PASA, for example, so we can share why why we resonate with them and their experience with students also in the Bay Area, and use our resources and their resources to create more of an understanding based off or a shared interest in what we want to solve in the world and in the community. I also want to work alongside the YBCA, the Year 1 Center of Arts in Soma, because I know that they are very involved in sharing Philippine arts and styles and literature. And I want that to be more accessible and create opportunity in an event in itself for Kasamahan to visit that site and experience the information and the information and the experience that exhibit offers.
One characteristic that makes Kasamahan unique is our vast student body of students coming from the Philippines, from the States, and across the diaspora. In the political realm and field, this can cause certain tensions between different opinions based on differing religious experiences. And in the past, this has caused some complications for FCB. How do you plan to move about this in order to serve all Kasamas in the organization wherever they live?
As I stated before in my speech, it's not my goal to highlight these differences of where we come from, but instead celebrate them and understand each other and our perspectives. And I feel like by fostering a space where people are attentive and are willing to share their own experiences is a great way for them to, is a great way for people who are either from the Philippines or from here to have sort of an understanding of where they come from. And I feel like with this nuance of highlighting different perspectives of a Filipino American versus a Filipino in itself, I understand that can bring some conflict and tension, but it is within my best interest as a Kappa CD to be able to inform everyone of these differences and not just take the side that I'm most comfortable with, but also understand that there are caveats and nuances within politics, and ensure that people are getting impartial and unbiased stances and perspectives from us, since we do represent a community and not just an individual self.
So Kasamahan has several committees, and as you are aware, CCD oversees the Committee on Political Affairs Committee. It can be quite the challenge bringing traction and retention to this committee in particular. So how do you plan to ensure that not only CPAC grows, but also those in CPAC stay engaged?
I want to give credit to Nessa earlier, who spoke on her ideas of creating people for media team and publicity team. I believe I can also follow in that same aspect of seeing people within meetings and not just plugging CPAC on not just at meetings, but also like highlighting their work and their ethics and their contributions in other meetings, and giving them a platform to or giving them an opportunity to be known for their contributions at the meetings that we do host. And as well as I would also want to reach out individually on people who I notice that are very politically aligned and are very well spoken about themselves and are informed, and I can introduce them and mentor them in that way as well. Also, in terms of keeping traction for politics, I know that there is an inequality of events of participation in events that relate to capital versus relate to other events in the organization. And that's why I think it's important to always state the intention behind each event, because it's easy to get lost in what we do instead of why we do it. So I think it's important to really emphasize the purpose of why we are all present in this space.
This is our last question.
Yeah. Things get intense when you're trying to balance how to keep members informed of current events and the planning of fans. How do you intend to approach the emotional and physical fatigue that can occur in this position?
Yes, it is no doubt that politics does come with a heavy burden, and that is something I'm willing to endure. And I believe that having a good support system is very important in sustaining and avoiding burnout, or easing the cause of burnout that comes with topic politics. Through my committee, I hope to create not only a sense of work ethic, but also camaraderie and trust among my committee, and as well as my co-director. And in that sense, I hope that we can we can break the ice and break these boundaries of keeping just politics and committees as a talk of just being very professional, but also being very vulnerable in our own experiences. Because I believe if I can set an example of how we can be open and vulnerable within my committee, within my co-director, and among e-board, then we'll be able to set that tone and expectation for the rest of Kasamahan, so they're able to also feel more inclined to turn to each other for support and for advice.
Thank you.